that's what I'm doing. So,
Hey, Leslie, do
yeah.
you know that what happened by the sixth time I made that turn? I felt like I was getting faster through the turn. Like I felt like I wasn't losing any speed. I was running at an 8.5 minute clip, and then started by the sixth time I did it, I didn't lose any. So I think that there's a familiarity issue. I think you're right on target about breathing into it. And I think that, you know, we all have ways to deal with things, and we all do them effectively for ourselves. This is the whole concept of Ayurveda, is that we're 8.2 billion different ants running around on this planet, and 8.2 billion different approaches, 8.2 billion different enzymatic, you know, makeups and Ayurvedic makeups. So what are some of the things that we do to deal with this push and pull? Remember, Saturn is asking us to dot every I and cross every T, and Mars is asking us to forge forward. But Saturn is a bigger planet because it teaches lessons. Remember, Christina, Saturn is the father that smacks you on the rear end when you go out into the traffic. You say, bad daddy, but really you should be saying, good daddy, you're teaching me a lesson not to get killed. So how do we deal with this push and pull right now? Is it through receptivity? Do we alter the energy somehow, like we were martial artists, like I was trying to do today? What do you all do?
Well, my experience, hello. You hear me, Dr. Scott? Am I off mute?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're good.
Okay. So my experience this week has been, I didn't know about all this push-pull that was going on this week, but I've been experiencing it, and work's been forging along very nicely and fast. But again, then came that pull of the fear of failure, I guess, and all the other stuff that goes with that. So for me, I slowed down and kind of like, I just slowed down on that turn. So, and I did the same thing with I've been really forging ahead with the intermittent fasting and my workouts. And I've been really going full speed ahead without injury for like 3 weeks. And then this week, I barely could walk for a couple of days. My back was stiffening up. And I go, all right, here we go again. But instead of just going to bed and letting it tighten up more, I kind of, as you said, the energy shifted. Einstein or something, you said like that earlier. The energy doesn't go away, it just shifts. So I shifted. I said, well, I'm still going to work out, but I'm going to work out to embrace that pain, I guess, but not force it. I don't know how to explain it, but I kind of like, the pain started going, the pain was gone after my workout when I just strategically changed the way I worked out this week. Instead of not working out and complaining and crying and saying this always happens to me. So I guess the main point is slow down, shift, acknowledge, and refocus. That's for me this week.
Share more on that, you know, because he's got expertise in that.
Hold on one second. Michael, Carol and I were just talking about this fabulous book called The Art of Chi Running. And in The Art of Chi Running, they teach you something. As I've been running for close to 35 years without stopping. Every year people say, oh, Dr. Scott, you're a maniac, you're going to stop, you're going to hurt yourself, blah, 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 blah. I know all the tricks and all the how to make sure this keeps going. But when I read this book, The Art of Chi Running, this brilliant long-distance Nepali running coach talked about the difference of the way we run as adults versus the way we run as children. When we're adults, every step you take feels like a new adventure in pain and tightness, right, Leslie? Just give me a nod. I know, I see it. Every step is a new adventure in pain. But when we're kids, all we ever talk about, all we ever think about is what is ahead of us. We're running, our arms are flapping all over the place. You don't even ever think about anything regarding any pain or inflammation because you're children, you're made of rubber. But you also have a mindset of what's ahead of you rather than associating so much with the pain body. And so Carol and I were talking about this is what happens as we get older emotionally. We carry so much baggage with us from all the shit that's happened to us over our life that we forget that when you're in love at 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 years old, there's no baggage. He or she's just gorgeous and you have fun. That's all there is. Now, April, you and I go out, all I can think about is how much you remind me of the 15 relationships that I went through that all reminded me of how much trauma there was associated with it. We go back to the art of Chi running, but we want to take it one step farther and go back to the art of Chi relationships, Chi foods. Chi relationships, I think, are the key. So the way to get back to that is let us talk about what's causing that resistance in us right now. Let's get it out. Blah, vomit it right on the paper in front of you let it be gone, and then let's go back to being 16, 18 years old when we weren't carrying any of that crap with us. Stephen, did you have something you wanted to share, or April?
I do, and you say that, and I equate that with foods because with the exception of chocolate and coffee, I ended my relationship with foods, and it has drastically changed everything about everything. As far as, I mean, I'm down to 150. I don't have to have that relationship with food, so that I'm not set up to eat the way that other people eat. I eat the way that my body wants me to eat.
Good.
Let's hear from somebody we haven't heard from. Donna, do you have anything to add to this regarding any resistance, any push-pull that you're feeling, any old baggage you're carrying? We touched on a number of subjects today.
Me?
You, Avalon.
Well, I have been physically prohibited from moving forward. I really pulled and strained my MCL, so my knee is in a brace, and it really hurts to move. I have to keep going forward without turning.
Donna, were you were forging forward with any kind of activities when this happened?
Jogging more.
You were jogging more. Now you're experiencing resistance. This is, guess what? Guess what sign rules knees? Capricorn. All related to the lateral collateral, the meniscus, and MCL, ACL of the knee. This is exactly what we're talking about. You made a shift in your life. You're moving forward, and then all of a sudden you meet this resistance. This is Saturn saying,
it's made me sit. Yeah, it's made me sit still and attend to the paperwork and the writing that I need to do.
Good. That's a great shift. We didn't have that one. Shift energy. Add that to the list.
Yeah, my knee hurt. I have never had anything hurt. I've never had a broken bone, a twist, a sprain, or anything in my entire life. And now it hits.
Belinda, you've been quiet.
Yeah, so am I muted or am I good? Yeah.
Oh, you're good.
I have a trip coming up next weekend to Yosemite.
Do you know that I'm on and you can't tell?
Joycey, wait.
Yes.
What? Mom, let Belinda finish, and then we'll go to you next. Okay? Can you just say where you are?
Sure.
Belinda, so you're going to Yosemite next? Yeah, we've been talking a lot about this.
Yeah, so I'm going to Yosemite. Part of it's camping. I'm camping on my own, and then the other part of it's my backpacking trip with wildland trekking. So obviously I see now, besides COVID, I see fires everywhere.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So I'm just trying to get I'm trying to plan for my camping, and I had already secured coolers and everything I'm going to pick up in Fresno, and then I went on Walmart to I have to do it a certain time in advance. I can't do it too early because I have to go pick up at Walmart when I get there. And when I did that, half the stuff I was going to order was out of stock, and it's out of stock at every single Walmart. So I'm just trying to have backup plans. So now I switched to Target, and now I'm just trying to have backup plans. If I can't even secure a cooler because of whatever's going on out there, I just have to, have a backup plan as to what I'm going to eat and what I'm going to do. And even with the wildland trekking, if for some reason they cancel, maybe instead of staying I can't stay in Yosemite at that point because I don't have something secured. So then I have to maybe go over to Mammoth. So just having to make backup plans and be ready for a twist and turn.
So Belinda, it is the energy of flexibility, right?
Yeah.
That you're talking about. Flexibility, in thinking, flexibility of, if this doesn't happen, what else can it go? And I'm going to enjoy it anyway, anyhow. It doesn't matter how, so, and that's, what Dr. Scott, your experience of losing the keys, that you went with it, so, and that's what Belinda. I'm hearing. I'm hearing also Donna, the fact of you're going, let me shift this energy. This happened because I was going down.
Absolutely. I love it.
With miles running or my mind was going too fast, and now I need to slow down and shift it. And now you're dealing with inflammation in your system, and have the ability, Donna, empowered to lower that down with an anti-inflammatory diet, you know, and also with your mind. You know, I have gone myself a lot of physical pain, you know, in surgeries in the past, and I feel you that you're going through pain, you know, right now. So in meditation, you know, there are meditation techniques that can help you level and reduce that pain significantly, you know. So you know, going into your meditation or going into space can also allow you and help you, you know. So
I think that one of the nice things that happens from this Zoom conference is that I always learn something every week. And just between Donna and Belinda, you know, from hearing your stories, we're adding a couple of things, and I'm reminded of something. In martial arts, when there's a punch coming at you, you don't try to meet it head on. That's how you break every bone in your hand. Belinda and Donna, especially Donna in this regard, she's just taking the energy and just moving it ever so slightly 2 degrees to her left. And that's the shift in the cruciate problem, you know, with your MCL, and moving it into doing more work on the computer. I know it sounds a little trite, but and Belinda, you are without question the queen of developing contingency plans. That's all I'll say about you. I want to introduce the one and only, my mother, Joyce Keller. She taught me more about astrology at 4 years old. Even before you, Christina, I was learning astrology from my mom. She's with us. Hi, Joyce. You there with us, Mom?
Hey, Dr. Scott, how are you? Thank you. And greetings, everyone. I wanted to say, thank you for saying that, Scott.
Joyce.
I appreciate it. Hi, everybody. I wanted to say something about the art of Chi running that you mentioned before. Scott, the authors, Danny and Kathy Dreyer, wrote a fabulous book, and I'm not a great runner, but it's so brilliant, and I'm so happy that you mentioned that. So good for you. I love being part of this. This is so advanced, and there's no other kind of Zoom like this. So good for you all. And you're talking about flexibility, talking about martial arts, and the beauty of martial arts is that it says don't have confrontation like that. Have it just a sliding by, and you'll always come out ahead. So once again, thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thanks for joining us. One of these days, I really want to see you. You know, my mom and I do a radio show on metaphysics and politics and social circumstances as well every Wednesday on Blog Talk Radio. It's easy to get it. You just go on www.blogtalkradio.com, Time for Joy. If you write that whole thing in, it just takes you right to our show. So I noticed we have Donna with us. Donna, you're new to the show. Are you there, sweetie? Can you unmute and at least just say a quick hello to everybody so we can hear your vibration and your beautiful energy? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. How you doing?
pretty good. Hi, Donna.
Donna, you have a minimal understanding or minimal involvement with astrology and Ayurveda, like you're just getting started, right?
Correct.
So as a newcomer, would you tell us a little bit of your impression of the discussion of what you're hearing so far? Does any of it resonate with you? Is some of it just, you know, in one ear, out the other? How do you feel about it, sweetie?
Or do you have any questions, Donna?
Or do you have any questions?
That you may not understand some of the terminology, some of the concepts that are being addressed?
No, I'm just here to learn or to hear what everybody's saying. So it's interesting for sure. Yeah.
Donna, we're getting ready to do your chart. Hopefully this weekend, we're going to look at your natal chart and look at your Ayurvedic profile. It's going to be very enlightening, I promise you.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, so who has anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us today?
We were talking, you know, Eddie, you know, in the concept of flexibility, and we were talking about the Ho'oponopono technique, and how can Ho'oponopono allows us to have this shifts, you know. So if you want, go ahead, Eddie. I know that you're an expert in that area. Yeah, on mute. Thank you.
I'd love to share my practice of Ho'oponopono. I've been teaching Ho'oponopono for maybe about 10 years now, and it's a practice of inner awareness, and it's a mantra. The mantra is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And you do it in meditation, but you can do it anytime. I'm a believer in grinding that meditation into your psyche and it becoming part of your new self-talk. Because as I said before, the relationship is not with anybody, it's with yourself. Actually, Ho'oponopono teaches there is no one else, there's only self. So this yesterday when I was very much contracted, and I woke up with a headache, and I was very much, feeling anxious and feeling anxiety. And I knew the best thing for me to do was to do Ho'oponopono. That would open things up and shift some energy. But what I did was something even different than that. I did this practice I do in the swimming pool, where I connect with water and I feel myself as water, and I recite the Ho'oponopono mantra, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me and thank you, as I'm stroking in the water. And it feels so incredible. Your heart opens up and your mind opens up, and you connect with the water in such a deliberate way. And the mantra has, I do it in different phases. Like I'll do 4 laps of stroking, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm feeling myself connected with myself and my body and my water. And then I'll shift to gratitude, thank you, thank you. Man, by the time you've done a half an hour of swimming or jogging or whatever extra activity is, it's about suppressing your thinking mind, you're feeling so connected and so great and so loved and so blessed. And it does just shift your whole day. And it really shifted my day out of that contracted energy I was feeling earlier that morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, Eddie. Thank you for sharing that. I want to come back and you're welcome to talk to Eddie anymore if you want to discuss the Ho'oponopono thing. I want to come back a little bit to astrology and Ayurveda. Christina, do you know anything else that's going on astrologically that you wanted to discuss? And did you tell me you wanted to ask a little bit about one of your cleaning ladies chart that you did? Can you tell us a little bit about that, sweetie?
You mean nanny?
Yeah, babe.
Which one?
Well, you remembered one of your nannies had a chart. You had a little problem with one of them, or you were making an analysis about one of them.
Which one? The Libra moon or the Sagittarius moon?
The one you knew more about her chart, honey. The one you knew more about.
I know all of their chart, both of them.
Okay. Are you having any problems, or have you made any analysis about either one of your nannies?
Not. Well, oh yeah, the triple Aries.
Right, the triple Aries. Tell us a little bit about her, please.
Well, her chart or her in general?
Both, honey.
Well, she's just very fiery in general. Even though she's a Pisces, she's just very fiery.
What did you learn about the fact that even though she has a water sign, very calm and relaxed, like April, right? Very gentle. But what did you learn about that even though the fire in her, even though the sun sign is in that gentle watery sign, she has a personality that's reflected by other aspects, right, in her chart? What aspects of the sun?
Well, triple Aries in Mercury, Venus, and in Mars.
The biggest one of all is probably Mars, because that's the biggest. And you know what, Christina, that brings us to a good point. I wanted to remind you about something. One of the topics of today's discussion is this horrendous square that's going on between Saturn and Mars. I made some notes here. I wanted to remind us all of something. Again, when Mars and Saturn square like this, Mars is asking us to forge forward with our projects, forge forward with our relationships. But Mars can have a little bit of a haphazard nature. It's kind of like a rock through paper. Well, Saturn is exactly the opposite. Saturn is asking us to be authentic and careful with our movements. So because Saturn is asking us to be regimented and authentic in our approach, while Mars is forging ahead, there tends to be an element of us not remembering to be authentic with ourselves. And I've noticed this. I've noticed myself stepping away from some of the integral parts of who I am and just being motivated by wanting to get the project done and stepping away from my true authentic self. There's a great desire for us to accomplish stuff right now with this big physical push from Mars, but this can produce an element where we're not also being honest with ourselves. And that push forward can tend to override that honesty. I think this is a very subtle quality of what happens when Mars and Saturn square each other. And I had to really look a little deeply today. I was in between sets at LA Fitness. I was just like, you know what? you've become so motivated by making sure things get done. Have you remained authentic with yourself, or have you pushed through because of your sense of ambition and wanting to serve other people? April, have you noticed this?
On mute.
For me, it's just one thing that I really try to, no matter what is going on around me, make sure that I'm doing for myself. So I find myself leaping headfirst into a lot of things that then I'm like,
That's the question right there. At what point do you notice? And you, that aha moment. Describe that aha moment, honey.
Sometimes it's like where I've already like open mouth and insert foot at times, and I have to, then I have to like really then recalculate and, recalibrate, so to speak. So.
With this confusion that's going on with us in the universe right now, does anybody know what Ayurvedic energy is proliferating right now? It's the one associated with confusion. It's been very, very confusing for a while because of this square, but this week, because Mars, which is a very pitta, aggressive, forceful planet going forward, is kind of taking charge. We're getting into a pitta place. Like, April, I'm looking at you and I'm sensing I'm getting a sense of energy from you that I haven't ever seen before. Like, more and more aggressive. Your face is getting so thin. Your body's getting so thin. You've been cutting out things that have raised your kapha energy. So now you're like getting into all the political causes also. You noticed yourself getting a little bit more pitta, tiny bit.
Yeah, definitely that. It's crazy too. Can't believe it. So I went to school 17 years post high school. I have almost 2 master's degrees. I have a master's degree in social work. But I started taking some courses on plant-based eating just to see if I got a scholarship for those, but just to see if I could even handle being back in classes. And I'm actually considering trying to figure out how to get back in school for a PhD. And that's psychotic. That's absolutely freaking psychotic. Because
that's good stuff.
The thought of being back in school makes me nauseous. Like, just sick. Talk about stressful. But
we have
but that, we're talking about authenticity. That's keeping in your authentic 100%. Identity of who you are, a person who is inquisitive, who loves to learn and loves, you're able to serve all.
Yeah,
that's what I get to see.
This is excellent. Excellent point. Why don't we talk to some other people and see who is doing what they can to remain in their authentic identity? I see we have Julie, Marshall, and Jessica. I don't know if you guys want to join in, but if we could ask you any question, it would be, what are you doing to remain mindful of your truly authentic self as we get pushed through this very strange, turbulent, rocky seas, storm of a configuration? What are you doing to remain authentic? Julie, talk to us.
Honestly, I am attempting to. Okay, I'm gonna go outside. Am I still muffled?
There's a lot of background noise.
No, I'm trying to get out of where I was.
That's good. That's good. You're good.
Okay. No, I mean, I have actually really have ambition, desire to get to my authentic self that I have experienced. And I know that is going to evolve, but however, physical ailments and family, there's all these things that are getting in the way of it. It's
right. What are you doing to mitigate those things? Do you receive them in a meditative way? Do you do any breathing exercises? What are you doing?
I attempted to start doing my yoga, get on my mat, and something I've been ignoring, a health issue. I now am not able to, when I bend over, to touch I can do it, but I have pain in my abdomen, so hence I had to go to the doctor. It's just something I've been avoiding in my body now I have been, you know, trying to be true to my spirit has made me like actually go to the doctor. Huh?
Your phone is cutting off, Julie.
Julie, we're gonna talk to somebody else, sweetie, because we're losing your reception.
With regards to Julie, I just wanted to say something, you know, that she also talked about pain. Julie, you talked about that you're going through pain, and now you're not able to work out or do your yoga. And Donna was talking about that. What can we do in that situation that, you know, our bodies? Can you put yourself in mute? That would be great. Thank you. Okay. Julie, put yourself in mute. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody else is okay. You know, so I think that, you know, be mindful of that physical pain. You have the power, and it's the power of the mind. There's someone's background, you know.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
She just muted.
Yes, you have the power of your mind. You know, so through meditation approaches, you know, you can alleviate, calm down, reduce, and lower that pain level. So you can go into space and, you know, you have your mind, you don't have your body. Your body isn't physical, but your mind can send messages to your body to reduce that physical pain.
In Julie's defense, she's been asking to come down to the beach and join me for yoga. And Julie, I hope you can hear me, sweetie. We're gonna try again tomorrow. And please call me at 10 and whoever wants to join, we do yoga on the beach or in the lawn, under the great lawn in the mornings. Usually tomorrow would be a great day. If anybody wants to join, please text me. I see a 917 number, 588, and I want to ask Jessica also to chime in. I don't know who the 917 number is, but if you want to just say hi and say who you are, it'd be lovely to hear your voice. 588, who is that?
917-588-3937.
It looks familiar.
It's okay.
Okay.
We're good. Thank you for being here.
If you want to just unmute and say hi at any point, please do, and call out your name. Hey, Jess, are you there or are you busy at work? Can you say hi to us?
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
Sorry, I missed the first half, but I'm here.
Jess, it's okay. You're wonderful. You always join in with us, and even though you have to work. Sweetie, what are you doing to remind yourself to remain authentic as we get this big push right now? What do you do and how do you see that come up?
So for me this week, I actually started Isha Kriya. It's a meditation.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about
it. It's like a 15 to 20 minute meditation. I've just been doing that at nighttime.
Where are the keys?
Throughout the day, I'm just really busy, but I don't know. I feel grounded, you know, when I do it, and
that's pretty authentic, Jess, because you're a yogi at heart, and you know you've been spinning a little bit out of control. A little bit. We've all been feeling this extreme vata imbalance since the square started.
I've been feeling it.
I'm pretty excited every time we talk to Jessica. Jessica and Sharon work at the Salt Suite up in by West Palm, and we're getting ready to do one of our big events up there on Astrology and Ayurveda. We're going to do everybody's chart. We're going to have a little discussion, and I had the good fortune of meeting with Jessica this week, and you know, I did Kriya for years, Jess. It really is grounding, and it really, for people who are on a metaphysical journey, I look at that as being a step in remaining really authentic with who we are. So, does anybody else have anything they'd like to add or raise the hand? I just don't want to ignore anybody.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Dr. Scott, remember when you said beating on your chest activates what? What does it activate?
There's one of the glands that has to do with immune system is called the thymus, which throws out T cells. T cells are one of the 5 different white blood cells that, as we say in clinical terms, phagocytizes microbes in our bloodstream. So we believe that by pounding on the sternum, you can actually cause your body to throw out more T cells, which will increase immune system. For people with any kind of autoimmune problems or deficiency disorders, they can frequently be lacking in T cells and they take medications for it. But we can do it naturally by stimulating it. We can stimulate our thyroid to throw out more thyroxine into our bloodstream just by manipulating it. This is part of Ayurveda.
Well, and
Are you having a problem? Yeah.
No, not me personally. I have friends over in Tampa, and they're probably experiencing COVID. And the one girl, she has asthma. So my roommate works at the hospital, so she told me to tell the mom, make sure she like pounds on her back. And then I was trying to explain to Stephanie she should pound on her chest, and she's like, why? Oh. And I'm like, I don't remember. Dr. Scott says it's for immunity. And so that's why.
Does anybody, April, that was a great question, because this is really a very current topic, and we need to talk about things that we can do. Look, this whole show and this conference is designed to talk about astrology and Ayurveda, but part of Ayurveda is doing things to make our bodies strong. Does anybody know what the strongest thing you can do to raise your defenses against COVID or any other flu?
Sunshine.
Everybody gets a big surge from their own particular area. I mean, mine is getting off sugar. I can fight off anything. What are your own personal areas of greatest defense when feeling great? Some people, they like to get adjusted. What do you get, April?
I use a lot of vitamin C.
Yeah.
I swear by, and I can say that I've proven it with the people in my household. I use the doTERRA On Guard. Their immunity blend is fabulous. So I even cook with it. I even cook with it. I make fruit leather out of it. I'm
gonna interrupt you for a second, because I want to I hear my mom chiming in. I had a Dr. Casey here a few minutes ago before we started the conference on ways to get our immune system the highest. He believes for him it's colloidal silver. Many people believe it's colloidal silver. It's not for me. Colloidal silver has never done anything. I've gotten sick on colloidal silver. I've never experienced any immune boost whatsoever from it.
So you have to be intuitively,
Ayurvedically, intuitively, and individual.
What your body needs.
Joyce has something to say about this. Joyce, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here. I wanted to say I believe that the greatest healing, in addition to sunshine and vitamins and minerals and all of that, which of course you're all touching on, and Ayurvedic meds, and of course attitude, the greatest thing of all, the greatest healer is humor. The Comedy Channel. Laugh, no matter how terrible you feel. If you can get Comedy Channel on your cell phone or on TV, however you can get it, it overrides all the nonsense that's going on in the world. It overrides everything. And you say, I'm laughing. This is crazy. I'm laughing in the midst of all this unemployment. And because at that point, endorphins are being released and you suddenly feel fabulous. So thank you all for having me. Thank you for doing this extraordinary Zoom.
Mama, that is the wisdom of the most masterful person here today, is that laughter is definitely the best medicine, because we know that laughter releases serotonin. We know that serotonin releases endorphins and releases T cells and eosinophils and basophils, which are the white blood cells that actually measure immunity. So laughter is the best medicine. I think that's brilliant.
I have one last thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carol. I just wanted to say one last thing. When my brother was very ill and passing away, I made a point of calling him every day and making him laugh every single day. I said, I know you don't want to laugh, but you're going to have to laugh anyway. Listen to this. And I would tell him the craziest stories or jokes or whatever I could come up with. And he was laughing and laughing and laughing. And he said, I always feel better after I speak with you because you make me laugh. And this is kind of embarrassing, but I also wanted to share with you the fact that my mother always made us laugh. And even though she was in a wheelchair and never walked, she said, this is going to be fun. And I said, why are we laughing at the wrong time? And we would go to funerals or hospitals, and she would say, don't let anyone see how much fun we're having. We're going to laugh the whole time. And she
Ma, you remember?
Ma,
you remember when Grandma died and we went to her funeral and Uncle Joe went to throw a rose into the coffin? What happened?
Yes, he bent over to get the rose and his pants split completely open. And everyone laughed and laughed and laughed. So my mother had her wish. She said, please don't cry at my funeral. I want you all to laugh. So laughing is great. And Scott, you really do a great job of making people laugh. And Carol also, all of you, you're all funny. So thank you all very, very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Joyce, and I wanted to add that laughter also leads to high vibrational emotions. When you're in a higher vibration, then your body and your immunity is super strong. They say that happy people get less, they don't get sick that often, you know? So, yeah, go ahead.
It's so true, Carol. I just wanted to say, I just recently watched a movie with Robin Williams where he played the part of a doctor who made children laugh, and he dressed as a clown. And he went into these rooms where children were dying in hospitals, and people who were jealous of him and his great success tried to throw him out of the hospital. But he succeeded anyway, because he always had a big clown nose on. And it was just great. He healed so many kids. So I just wanted to say, keep laughing, folks. And thank you all, Doctor.
We need to be careful that we don't mask our feelings and sadness, because that's what happened to that actor, you know, if I remember, you know, very
there's balance for everything.
Yeah, there's balance for everything. That we don't mask our sadness, you know, in making other people laugh, you know, so there has to be a balance.
Right. Masking is wrong. Of course, masking is wrong. But at a certain point, Carol, that masking can turn things around, and you can say, well, you know, really, do we have to keep going this way? So thank you all very much again. You've all done a great job.
Thank you for chiming in. I think we're gonna wrap things up a little bit now. I want to say, of course, as always, thank you for everybody for joining in, and I want to remind you, each week we have this meeting as a way of doing a couple of things. Number one, we of course want to draw a balance between astrology and Ayurveda and how to use them as tools to get the most abundance out of our lives in all areas, in our relationships, in our physical health. I'm grateful that April shifted this towards a little bit of a physical discussion, and I think we want to touch on that a little bit more. I mean, I spent most of my career, last 30 years in practice, working physically on people and using astrology and Ayurveda as a way of developing that greater clinical insight. And now with Eddie is with us, he's in the next office, and Carol is a psychologist who I'm very grateful to be working with. We've taken a lot of that effort and put it towards the psyche as a way of knowing that the psyche is what propels the body. Sometimes the body propels the psyche on certain occasions when we come in contact with a foreign invader. And that's kind of what we're discussing right now. We've discussed all the psychological elements of this foreign invader that's hit the planet and been created, whether it was in a laboratory or in a bat's digestive tract or wherever the heck it came from. But I wanted to say as closing, number one, again, thank you for joining us. Please, 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 every one of you, if you have somebody in your life who can benefit from this kind of insight, just welcome them to come and join us, sit in, listen, see if there's something that they can add to this, their own personal experience, but also learn how to use these two ancient sciences as ways to improve their life. Remember, we are the gods and goddesses that created everything at the beginning of this experience. We were nothing but God energy when we started in this consciousness, and we coalesced matter that we call a physical body made up of 100 trillion cells. We can do anything we want with those cells. We just have forgotten that that's ours. We can make that our you-know-what. It's just remember, gods and goddesses, all of you. Love you guys. Thank you for joining. We're going to join again next week. As long as Carol is not having to go to work every week, she sets, thank you so much for setting up the conference. As long as Carol's with us, we're going to keep doing these conferences. So join us next week and bring someone along who needs some help and insight. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Love you guys.
Have a great
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.